Guys, today we've got the new Travis Scott sneakers, a Jordan 1 Chicago shock drop, and apparently no more Yeezys. But of course, before we get into all of this insane upcoming stuff, let's quickly go over this crazy week that we've had. Yesterday, the Crenshaw Skate Club Nike SB Dunk Low dropped, and it was actually a skate shop exclusive. I think that's pretty unfortunate because obviously they were extremely limited, but if you managed to get a pair, drop it down in the comments. Jordan 1 Low Black Toes also dropped. That's a phenomenal sneaker if you managed to pick these things up, which I don't think was that hard. And then that brings us to all of the Yeezys that released. 10 different Yeezys that have all already dropped. Now, unlike previous Yeezy days, these kind of dropped a little bit more spread out. So over the course of this week, all of them have either shock dropped or just loaded up for raffles. You head over to the Adidas Confirmed app, you'll see that there is still some of those Yeezys available for you to go and enter the draw, which ends on August the 7th. And then the rest of those pairs, which are a little bit less hyped, like the 450s, the Quantums, the 700 V3s, those are all available to buy right now. And then of course, for you guys out in the US, you had the Yeezy 450 slides, which I believe were a lot more limited because they sold out instantly, and they are currently reselling for I think about double the retail price. The retail price, in my opinion, is already way higher than it should be at $110. Either way, guys, let me know your W's from this week down in the comment section, but let's hop into this upcoming stuff. And we're going to kick it off with some crispy new images of the upcoming Air Jordan 11 DMP that is going to be dropping this holiday season. Now, these are by far the best images that we've seen of this sneaker, and you can see how they look on foot with this new yellowed out outsole and of course the tumbled leather covering the entire upper. Listen, at the end of the day, I personally actually don't mind the leather on this pair of shoes, and I actually don't even mind the outsole, even though I feel like the outsole kind of changes the appearance of this pair of shoes more than the leather itself, at least from a distance. Either way, these are going to be set to drop on December the 9th. Let me know what you think of them. Alright, let's talk about this Jordan 1 Chicago shock drop. So it's loaded up on the Nike Sneakers app. So if we take a look over here, you can see the Sneakers app has uploaded a bunch of launch details. This is something that's actually pretty rare. I will quickly mention that this restock is only for the EU, so I think you guys out in the US, you guys get restocks all the time. So this is going to be happening on August the 8th, and how it's going to drop is not just going to load up, it's actually only going to be available through exclusive access. Now, to actually get exclusive access for the Air Jordan 1 Chicago, it's actually relatively tough. So you have to be a member who entered and lost the main launch moment for the Air Jordan 1 Chicago on November the 19th. So that was the original release. And then on top of that, you've also had to have entered and lost at least 5 different Air Jordan releases in Nike sneakers this year, which, to be honest, I feel like the entered and lost 5 different Air Jordan releases in the sneakers app this year is actually pretty tough, because a lot of the Air Jordan releases have actually been pretty easy to go for. Like, I think the majority of Jordan releases this year, if you entered for it, you probably won it. Either way, it's definitely worth keeping your eyes open on the Nike sneakers app on August the 8th. Alright, we got some new official images of the Yuto Horigome Nike SB Dunk Low. These things are going to be dropping this month, and I think these official images actually confirm that. You can take a look at these things. You've got nice suede covering the upper. I'm hoping these things feel really good in hand. These things are very, very well done. It's just a really nice, aesthetically pleasing colorway, a lot of earth tones, and I just think it's a pair of shoes that's not trying to do too much. These are going to be set to drop on the 16th of August this month. I'm just crossing my fingers that these do have a wider release and are not skate shop exclusives like the last one. There's also just a collaboration that makes a lot of sense anyway. Of course, we got some more Kobe leaks. Another week, another Kobe sneaker that we got to talk about. Take a look at this. The Kobe 8 Protro White Metallic Gold Black is going to release next year, summer 2024. Now, it seems like with a lot of these Kobe leaked sneakers that we have, a lot of them are lined up to drop next year in 2024. So by the looks of it, it's going to come in a full family size run. So kind of what we're expecting in terms of Kobe sneakers is that on Kobe Day, which is August the 24th, Nike is going to announce that they're going to relaunch the Kobe line. I'm not entirely sure if they're going to have any sneakers that are going to release on that day, but I think after they make that announcement, that's when all of these Kobe sneakers really come into effect. And that's kind of why a lot of these newer and retro Kobe sneakers are going to be dropping next year. Now, along with this colorway, we've also got a Nike Kobe 4 Bi-Coastal coming summer 2024. Now, what you're seeing here is a speculative mock-up because obviously this is a new pair of shoes, so they're not entirely sure what this colorway is going to look like, but we can just imagine it looks something similar to this. Speaking of summer 2024, I thought I'd update you guys on this pair of shoes because I think it is literally one of the most highly anticipated for next year, the Jordan 4 Military Blue, which is set to return next year. I think the last time that we spoke about this, it was literally when the first rumors began. So now we have a little bit more of an idea at what this pair of shoes is going to look like and when it's actually going to drop. Now, while we still don't have any pictures of the actual 2024 pair, what you're looking at here is the 2012 retro, but we do know a couple things about how they're going to treat this retro. retro. They're going to try and make it to the exact specifications of the original. We know that this retro is not going to be part of the Reimagined series where they slightly changed something like the Royal Jordan 1, which is going to have suede, or the Bread 4s they're going to have all over leather. These are just going to be a true retro. It's going to come in a full family size run, so men's $215, GS sizes $160, preschool $100, and toddler sizes $85. I imagine we start seeing the first leaked images of the actual pair of shoes over the next couple months, so as soon as those pop up, I'll let you guys know. And now we also got an announcement of the upcoming triple collab Jordan 1, Union, and Beffy's Beauty Supply. So we know a little bit more about this pair of shoes, and we also know a release date. We now know that this collaboration is going to consist of two different sneakers, a Jordan 1 High and a Jordan 1 Elevate. Now, Union officially announced this collaboration with an image of these two shoes. They say one love, and they give a whole little backstory about the inspiration and design of this sneaker. Now, they also announced the release date, which is going to be August the 24th. We're still yet to hear if and when these get a full Nike sneakers release and all of the different retailers. I believe the Union website does do global shipping as well, so if you did want to just try your shot on there, then just be ready for August the 24th. Right, we just got the summer 2024 Air Jordan release calendar all leaked, so we've got a bunch of pairs of shoes to go through, so take a look at this image over here. So I'm just going to speed run through these releases because we've got some speculative mock-ups with all of them, so we can get a kind of glimpse at what these sneakers should look like. We've got a pair of Airships in the green stone colorway, and just pretty standard for an Airship, nothing too crazy. We've got another Airship in the Hornet colorway, which is looking very, very bright and loud. Then we've got our first summer 24 Air Jordan 1 High OG. This is the Summit White Obsidian colorway, looking actually relatively clean. I'm sure you've got obsidian details and a gum outsole, which is pretty interesting. We've got an Air Jordan 1 High White Team Red coming in a full family size run. This one, again, is very, very simple. We've got a Jordan 1 High OG Legend Medium Brown. What a name. This one's going to come only exclusively in women's sizing. Another women's Jordan 1 coming in metallic silver photon dust. This one's pretty self-explanatory. I have just some kind of neutral gray theme over here. We've got the green glow Jordan 1s, which I think are going to be a little bit different than this mock-up. It's probably going to follow the green glow Jordan 4 color a little bit closer. We've got some Jordan 1 lows in the neutral gray colorway. This is kind of like the metallic gray in terms of this mock-up. We've got another pair of lows, the black gorge green. And then we got some Jordan 2s, of course. Jordan brand's still really just trying to pump these 2s. This is the Summit White diffused blue colorway. Then we've got some 3s. This one is the bi-coastal, another bi-coastal colorway. Air Jordan 3 green glow. This is a little bit more like it. Again, I think they're going to lean into the Jordan 4 green glow kind of color. Another pair of 3s. We got the Cosmic Clay. This one actually doesn't look bad at all, especially if it does come with a sail midsole and the orange accents. I think that looks relatively clean. Of course, the Jordan 4 retro military blue. We got the Air Jordan 4 vivid sulfur. This is a woman's colorway. Now, I've seen a couple different mock-ups of this. I definitely prefer Soul Retriever's mock-up as opposed to Z Sneakerheads. However, the reality is which one is actually going to release, we'll have to wait and see. Air Jordan 4 Hyper Violet. This one is looking wild. We've got the Air Jordan 5 Sail colorway. These things are looking very, very similar to the Craft 5s that dropped a couple months ago. Although I expect, obviously, these are probably just going to come in normal Jordan 5 makeup, which would be just like nubuck instead of the crazy Craft materials that those had. We've got another pair of 5s, the Hurricanes in a GS sizes. This is a low, obviously. Pair of 6s, the reverse Oreos. That's pretty self-explanatory, so I imagine this mock-up is pretty accurate. We've got a pair of Jordan 11 lows, the Midnight Navy colorway, something that we could decipher pretty easily. Midnight Navy, something that we've seen on plenty of different models, so yeah, again, pretty self-explanatory. Probably gonna look like this. We've got the Legend Pink Air Jordan 11 retro low. We've got a pair of 12s, the Red Taxis. 13s, the Dune Red. Imagine this mock-up is actually relatively accurate in terms of the Dune Red color, a little bit more toned down, not so saturated. Air Jordan 17 low Lightning colorway. Air Jordan 38 low, the metallic gold and black. They didn't even bother doing a mock-up for this one. There you have it, the Air Jordan Summer 24 lineup as we know right now. Again, a lot is subject to change. This is all still very, very early on, but I think it's kind of cool just getting a glimpse at what potentially might drop next year. All right, let's get into this Yeezy news because there is a lot to go through and a lot to digest. So obviously we know currently right now it is Yeezy month. In fact, we actually have some updated release dates for some of those Yeezys, which we'll get into in a minute. Adidas just had their Q2 earnings call, and we've got some more information on the entire Adidas Yeezy situation. So to start off, the Adidas CEO says that using Yeezy designs is not part of our future strategy. So basically, once Adidas sells out all of this Yeezy inventory that they have in their warehouses, they're not planning on bringing Yeezys back. So this is specifically what CEO of Adidas Bjorn Gulden actually said. He said the Yeezy product is something that he created, meaning Kanye West. He's the inventor of it and we have been his partner. To take his designs and sell them off later, which we technically legally could do, is not part of our strategy. Our task now is to limit the damage, get rid of the inventory, use the proceeds for good, and build a business later without Yeezy. Now, along with this, they added a couple things that they have on their minds in terms of building Adidas without Yeezy brand, and it starts with obviously the fear of God line, so I think Adidas is going to lean heavily into that. And they also said that going into 2025, you should not be surprised if Superstar will be a hot shoe again, so the Adidas Superstar. So we will start to heat that shoe up in the higher end of the market and do collaborations with it. Now, if you ask me, it's not looking too good for Adidas, especially when you realize that 85% of Adidas's operating profits came from Yeezy Day, the first one that happened earlier this year. The first Yeezy Day sale offloaded roughly 20 to 25% of the leftover Yeezy sneakers, and this contributed 150 million euros to Adidas's 176 million euros in operated earnings for the quarter. In total, Adidas amassed a revenue of 437 million US dollars solely from Yeezy sneaker sales. And they could have made more because they actually received 565 million US dollars worth of orders. They actually had to cancel a lot of them because it was more demand than they actually had. Even though Adidas says that they plan to never use Yeezy designs again, when the times get tough in the future and they have the ability legally to release different Yeezys, remake them, do you think they're gonna leave all that money on the table? Drop your thoughts down in the comment section, but Yeezy is definitely a very, very powerful brand within Adidas. That's why they're obviously going to continue to release them throughout this month and potentially in the future after that. Either way, speaking of Yeezys that are going to be dropping this month, apart from the ones that have already released, here's the rest of the release calendar for what we can expect for the month of August. So just keep in mind that these release dates could change, but so far on August the 10th, we're supposed to be getting two different Yeezy sneakers. The first one is the Yeezy Slide Glow Green. The second one is the Yeezy 350 Core Black Red. That one is a restock. Now, August the 14th, there's going to be 4 different Yeezy sneakers for that day, starting with the Yeezy Slide Slate Marine. That is that kind of slightly greenish, bluish looking slide. Also potentially the Yeezy 500 High Tactical Boot in the utility black colorway. This is one that I think is probably my most highly anticipated boot this entire Yeezy Day thing. Another one is the Yeezy Foam Runner Stone Salt. This is supposed to be a new colorway, but from a lot of the leaks and rumors, it kind of just looks super similar to the previous foam runner that we got. And then finally for August the 14th, the Yeezy 350 V2 Granite, a pair that I believe just should have dropped ages ago. There's going to be 3 pairs for August the 21st. Yeezy Slide Slate Gray, Yeezy 350 V2 Static, and the Yeezy 700 Utility Black. Now August the 24th is apparently only going to have one sneaker releasing, and that is the Yeezy 700 V2 Static, another pair that restocked relatively recently, so it's probably just leftover pairs from that. The final one, August the 28th, is going to have 4 different Yeezy sneakers, starting with the Yeezy 700 V3 As I Yell, a phenomenal sneaker, a phenomenal colorway, definitely my favorite V3. Also the Yeezy 350 V2 Dark Salt, Yeezy Slide Granite, very, very similar to the Onyx colorway, and then a restock of the Yeezy 350 Slate, another release that happened relatively recently, I think late last year, so this is probably just leftover pairs. And that is all we know so far. So now, according to this list, there is still some other ones that potentially might end up releasing. We're gonna have to wait and see. So just keep an eye on the different retailers that stock Yeezys and also the Adidas Confirmed app. And of course, if we get any more updates on this, I will let you guys know. Another little piece of information from Adidas's Q2 earnings call: Adidas to donate 120 million from Yeezy sales to charity. This donation alone would be from the June Yeezy Day that we just saw. They also stated that they would potentially donate more, just depending on how the future Yeezy releases go. Alright, we got some new Travis Scott sneakers. Take a look at this, guys. A little mismatched pair of, okay, I'm joking. And this is actually Jake Paul's custom pair of Travis Scott Jordan 1s made by the shoe surgeon? Freaking hard to say that name. Either way, last night Jake Paul fought Nate Diaz. Jake Paul actually won that fight. I didn't see it. His outfit is definitely what caught my interest because not only is it just completely custom to look like Travis Scott merch for some weird reason, I do think that the shoes are actually pretty cool. It's obviously a white and a black pair based off of the Phantom lows that dropped, I think, last year. Either way, this entire outfit apparently cost $100,000, which is insane. Like, that cannot be right. Is the shoe surgeon really charging that much for a custom outfit? Right, then final story, I wanted to show you guys the actual new pair of Travis Scotts that we have, not the Jake Paul ones. This is something that that we saw Travis Scott wearing, he posted to his Instagram story himself, he was smoking in a gym, which sounds crazy. It's so counterintuitive and counterproductive. Either way, what we're focusing on is the fact that he was wearing a new colorway of his Cut the Check sneaker. As we know, there's at least 5 different colorways of this shoe that should be dropping. I think 3 of them this year and then 2 of them next year. And this also looks like a mid-cut, which is slightly different, I believe. It's getting a little bit confusing. Either way, this pair of shoes should be dropping at some point this year, potentially early next year. Either way, guys, that is all the stories I have for you this week. And if you want to check out those new insane Yeezy 450 slides, check out that video over there.